This is the newsroom for today, Tuesday, January 12, 2021. We're broadcasting to you on E1, Scar TV, NTN, and Tarsi TV in Bartica. In the headlines, the United States says it has no intention to set up military bases in Guyana as it signs an agreement with the GDF to tackle climate change, terrorism, trafficking in narcotics and small arms, and human trafficking.
The United States doesn't seek to have bases anywhere in the hemisphere.
The Attorney General Anil Nandlal says the Police Service Commission has agreed to resolve police promotion grievances outside of the High Court. A 40-year-old Tushan man is seriously injured after two fuel trucks exploded at Parika on the east bank of Essequibo. We find out if Guyanese will voluntarily take the COVID-19 vaccine.
I will be able to take it in order to move on and to be safe and help with the family.
No, but I'm not going to take it.
And in sport, Phil Simmons believes West Indies have balanced test squad for Bangladesh series and fitness and work ethic key to getting West Indies women back on track. With the news, I'm Avinash Ramzan. Thanks for joining us. We started by telling you that the United States government on Tuesday reinforced its commitment to regional security through the signing of a new agreement with Guyana. It facilitates and increases interoperability, readiness, and effectiveness of both military forces through increased logistical cooperation. Kurt Campbell reports.
Guyana and the United States of America have added new features to its long-standing military-to-military cooperation with the signing of an acquisition and cross-servicing agreement on Tuesday. It strengthens security collaboration to combat shared transnational threats. The agreement was signed by Commander of the U.S. Southern Command, Admiral Craig Fowler, on behalf of the Department of Defense of the United States of America, and Chief of Staff of the Ghana Defense Force, Brigadier Godfrey Bess, on behalf of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana. Admiral Fowler is currently in Guyana on a 3-day visit and engaged in the signing event at State House as part of his planned activities. In brief remarks after the signing, Brigadier Bess said Fowler's presence in Guyana symbolizes the excellent relations between the militaries of the United States of America and Guyana.
Today's signing of the acquisition and cross-servicing agreement between the Department of Defense of the United States of America and the Guyana Defense Force of the Cooperative Republic of Guyana build on these traditions of security cooperation between our two militaries. The Guyana Defense Force is pleased to be a part of this agreement. The agreement allows for a greater predictability in our defense partnership. It establishes a formal basis for encouraging the exchange of services between the militaries of the Guyana and the United States.
He said through the agreement, the two militaries will now be able to expand its partnership in issues like climate change, terrorism, trafficking narcotics and small arms, and human trafficking, among others. Meanwhile, Admiral Fowler underscored the signing as a pivotal step forward together. He believes it builds on the momentum started with the visit of U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and reinforces the U.S. commitment to regional security.
With this agreement, we are entering a new era of defense partnership. For over half a century, our countries have built a bond of friendship in our military-to-military cooperation. That kind of friendship we find among neighbors with shared values, neighbors who are committed to democracy.
The agreement is expected to pave the way for exchanging goods or services of equal value to support future bilateral defense cooperation. The agreement allows also for flexibility in identifying ways to support bilateral security cooperation. In this instance, the U.S. can provide fuel and meals to partner nations like Guyana to support U.S.-led counter-narcotics operation in international waters, or the U.S. can loan specialized aviation maintenance equipment. It creates new opportunities to successfully plan and conduct future cooperation activities and further strengthen the security partnership. The agreement will streamline the process of exchanging goods or services of equal value, allowing for greater focus on the resulting defense cooperation activities and goals. Kurt Campbell, Newsroom.
Now, the visiting commander of the U.S. Southern Command, Admiral Craig Fowler, on Tuesday said that the United States of America has no plans to set up military bases in Guyana as part of growing its presence in the Western Hemisphere. He went further to say that there is no interest by the USA to set up bases anywhere in the hemisphere. Admiral Fowler was at the time responding to questions from the local press corps during the signing of an acquisition and cross-servicing agreement at State House in Georgetown.
The United States doesn't seek to have bases anywhere in the hemisphere. We seek to have the right military presence as invited by our sovereign partners, so we only come at the request of a mutually agreed partnership for an exercise or training. And so our future presence here will be determined by our hosts, our friends. And that presence will be in the form of exercises and training. We gain so much from the experience working with forces in the jungle and the rivers and offshore.
The clarification comes days after the United States reiterated its support for Guyana in the border controversy with Venezuela. Fowler was also asked about the support of the USA military in response to aggression from Venezuela. He would only say that his country supports a peaceful resolution of the controversy and respect for the ongoing judicial process. Guyana's Chief of Staff, Brigadier Godfrey Bess, also echoed similar sentiments. He asserted that Guyana stands committed to a peaceful resolution of the situation. Now, the Caribbean Community CARICOM says it is deeply disappointed and concerned at the decree and subsequent statements by Venezuela with respect to that country's border controversy with Guyana, including intimations of the creation of a strategic area of national development called Territory for the Development of the Atlantic Facade. CARICOM, in a statement on Tuesday, said it is in full support of the judicial process on the way at the International Court of Justice, which is intended to bring a peaceful and definitive end to the long-standing controversy between the two countries. CARICOM reiterated in the strongest possible terms its firm and unswerving support for the maintenance and preservation of the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Guyana. CARICOM said it firmly repudiates any acts of aggression by Venezuela against Guyana. The court case challenging the 2020 promotion of police officers has been further delayed as the interested parties explore the option of a resolution outside of the courtroom. A meeting between the Police Service Commission, the aggrieved and affected police officers, and the Attorney General's chambers is set for Friday. Chief Justice Acting Roxanne George was told where the matter came up on Tuesday. Kurt Campbell reports.
Chairman of the Police Service Commission, Assistant Police Commissioner retired Paul Slow, has agreed to explore a possible resolution to the challenge against the Commission's 2020 promotion of police officers outside of the ongoing judicial process. This was communicated to Chief Justice Acting Roxanne George by Attorney General and Minister of Legal Affairs Anil Nandlal when the matter came up in the High Court on Tuesday. On the last occasion, Nandlal had asked for an adjournment to allow him to explore the possibility of amicably resolving the matter. But on Tuesday, he asked for a further adjournment, informing the court that the meeting has been set for March 15, 2021 between the PSC, the aggrieved and affected parties, and the Attorney General's chambers. Nandlal said he has already engaged the PSC chairman, who is currently in Bangladesh, and he has agreed to engage outside of the court with an intention of resolving the matter. As a consequence, and to allow for the engagement to go through, the Chief Justice adjourned the matter to February 5, 2021. On December 31, 2020, Justice George had granted an order which instructs that the current status quo in the Guyana Police Force remains as it is until the matter is resolved. Senior Superintendent of Police Calvin Brutus had moved to the High Court to block the promotions of senior officers as he complained that the Police Service Commission was acting unlawfully and irrationally. Brutus complained of being jilted and protested that the PSC is using a trivial pending matter of breach of discipline to deny his promotion to Assistant Commissioner. The senior cop is of the view that the practice of not promoting persons who have disciplinary matters against them perpetuates a permanent injustice against him and others who are slated for promotions. In his application to the High Court, Brutus asked for a declaration that the policy of the PSC not to promote or consider for promotion ranks with pending disciplinary matters before it is unlawful, a declaration that he is entitled to be promoted to the office of Assistant Commissioner, and an order cancelling the decision of the PNC denying his appointment to that office. Additionally, Brutus asked the court to cancel the decision of the PSC to promote Edmund Cooper, Philip Azor, and Curly Simon, Senior Superintendents of Police, to the office of Assistant Commissioner of Police, and to compel the PSC to reconsider its decision not to promote him. Brutus contended that some of the ranks up for promotion also have disciplinary matters dated as far back as 2016. His matter dates back to 2019, but he claims no progress has been made on conducting and concluding an investigation. Kurt Campbell, Newsroom.
Still ahead on the newsroom, a 40-year-old Tushan man is seriously injured after two fuel tankers exploded at Parika East Bank, Essequibo, and a family is desperate for answers following the disappearance of their 20-year-old relative. This is the newsroom. The family of 20-year-old Aaron Grant is desperate for answers following his disappearance last year. They are pleading with anyone with credible information to come forward. The young man left his Tushan East Bank Essequibo house in July 2019 for Madhya Region 8 to work as a gold miner. His sister, Melissa Henry, told the newsroom on Tuesday that he telephoned the family regularly, but they have not heard from him since May 2020. Isnella Patwa reports.
7 months after 20-year-old Aaron Grant of Tushan East Bank, Essequibo, did not contact his family and they could not reach him, a missing persons report was made at the Lenora police station. After the report was made, ranks there contacted the Madhya police station in Region 8 and an investigation was launched in December 2020. The young man was last seen in Madhya working as a gold miner before he disappeared in May 2020. His sister, Melissa Henry, explained that a few days after Mother's Day in May 2020, Grant telephoned and said he was waiting to be paid, after which he will return home the following week.
He left to go into the interior, that's Madhya Whitewater, I heard. He left with a friend, actually, right? And the friend is the man that he left to go and work with and their son. But they don't live out here, they live in Madhya. But his son was, however, spending some time out here by relatives or whatever. And my brother and him became friends. And he left to go in there with him to work. That's July 2019.
Henry stated that her brother mentioned that he was moving to another location, and as such, the family was not immediately worried when they did not hear from him over a month. However, as the months went by and they did not hear from him, they became worried and began inquiring about his whereabouts.
Well, actually, we were waiting after we didn't hear from him and he said they're going on the next hit. We were actually waiting like a month and towards him, we say, man, maybe they're gone somewhere where they're getting signal and stuff, But it keeps turning into 3 months, 4 months, and we start to get extra worried because we calling the numbers and we ain't getting on to nobody. So last month, I went and made a report at the Lenora police station, and they said that they were going to read the messages to Madhya, and the police they're going to talk to him or.
Anyone with any information on Aaron Grant's whereabouts is asked to contact his family on telephone numbers 633-2158 or 674-5637. Reporting for the newsroom, I am Isabella Pato.
A 40-year-old man is nursing burns to his hand after 2 trucks which were discharging fuel exploded Parika Salem First Coker on the east bank of Essequibo on Tuesday. Police headquarters in a statement noted that Zahir Villa of Tushan jumped into the cabin of one of the trucks to switch off the engine during the fire when he received the injuries. According to the police release, the 2 trucks, which are owned by Nazir Khan, a 39-year-old businessman of Tushan, was discharging the fuel when one of the drivers, Ramcharan Dean, saw smoke emanating from behind his cabin. The fire quickly spread to the other truck, which was being driven by Villa. The fire was subsequently extinguished by firefighters. The cause of the fire is not yet known and investigations are ongoing. Now, police are on the hunt for 3 Venezuelan nationals who allegedly robbed a Port Kaituma Region 1 businessman and his wife at gunpoint on Monday night. Police headquarters in a statement revealed that Elroy Alam, aged 56, and his 22-year-old reputed wife, Shauna Campbell, were robbed of $10 million, 4 gold chains and 4 rings, along with a semi-automatic rifle with 30 live rounds and 1 magazine, a .32 semi-automatic pistol with 10 live rounds and 2 magazines, and a 12-gauge semi-automatic shotgun. Newsroom understands that Alam is a licensed firearm holder. The robbery occurred between 23 hours and 23 hours 32 at Alam's Port Kaituma waterfront property. Police said one of the suspects is identifiable and ranks retrieved surveillance footage of the incident. The suspects escaped in a boat along the Aruca River, and as such, police ranks along with ranks from the Ghana Defense Force Coast Guard based at Marwana responded. Police said while the ranks were searching along the Aruca River, they came under fire from the suspects. The ranks returned fire, but the suspects inside the boat managed to escape in the direction of the Ghana-Venezuela border. It is unclear at this time if any of the suspects were injured, but police headquarters reported that none of the ranks were injured during the shooting. Police investigations are ongoing. 15 more students attending dormitory schools across Guyana have tested positive for COVID-19, bringing the total number of positive students since the reopening of schools on January 4, 2021 to 45. Minister of Health Dr. Frank Anthony, during Tuesday's COVID-19 update, revealed today that 13 teachers and other staff have also tested positive. All positive patients are in isolation, recovering, and the students are also being provided with their daily worksheets to continue their education. The health minister stated that the current cases are manageable as the ministry is collaborating with the regional education officers to ensure measures are in place for the students and teachers.
Since the reopening, we have had about 45 students who have tested positive, and we've had 13 teachers who tested positive. And because these are students coming into the dorm, we have had about 13 or so other staff members who have tested positive. It's an ongoing exercise. I guess while most students would have come out to the dorms by now, there might have been few others that are yet to come. So as they come out, we continue testing.
Can you provide the numbers for last term, and was there an increase?
Well, last term, in terms of the students, it was about the same number, about 45 students who tested positive. Obviously, the ones who have tested now are not the same who tested in the first instance. But they are about the same in terms of students. And in terms of teachers, there are about 5 teachers that tested positive the last time. Now we have 13.
If the cases continue to rise in the coming weeks, do you already have a plan in place to tackle that?
Cases rising where?
In schools?
These things, the 45 that I'm telling you about, they're in all the different dorms across the country. So when you look at that, it's not many cases. There probably might be a 2 here, a 5 here. And once we have detected somebody who's positive, then the procedure is that we would isolate them. So it's something that is quite manageable, and the regional health teams have been doing that.
When the newsroom returns, we find out if Guyanese are willing to voluntarily take the COVID-19 vaccine. This is the newsroom. Countries around the world have begun to administer vaccines to combat the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic, and several prominent figures have already taken the shot, including Queen Elizabeth, United States President-elect and Vice President-elect Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. The Ministry of Health here has already appointed a COVID-19 vaccine task force and are preparing for the rollout of Guyana's first doses, which will first be administered to health workers and other high-risk members of the population. The first COVAX-facilitated vaccines are free and expected to cover 20% of Guyana's population. In preparation for Guyana's rollout, Newsroom took its cameras on the streets and asked some members of the Guyanese public along Regent Street in Georgetown if they would be willing to take the vaccine. Here's what they had to say.
I will be able to take it in order to move on and to be safe and help with the family. And if it's healthy, if it is good, because I noticed on Facebook people been saying it's fake, it's not good. So I won't lie, I've been getting my information from Facebook, not from where else. If it's where else and I could get proof that it is working and it's good stuff, I will take my vaccine.
No, I won't take it. I will isolate myself. I don't think it's a good idea for Guyanese to take the vaccine.
Because another thing too, when you take your medications or you're gonna have an injection, doctors always ask if you have any other health issues. And sometimes a person could take that COVID vaccine for COVID, and it so happen that they have a problem within themselves that can cause harm to them, even though they may not die from the COVID or whatever. No, but I'm not gonna take it. Take it as if I see that it's for sure a help, a cure. Well, yes. Just like I said, I had cure for AIDS and what's not. And from my point, if there's a cure for COVID as a vaccine, I don't think people should pay for it if they're gonna have to pay. It's best to be free because you need to save lives and not take more lives.
Of course, yes, because you would know the status of yourself, and it would help to stop the spread of the COVID-19.
I would consider, because I love traveling. Do a lot of research and look on the internet and see who took it. I get a lot of, as we like to say, a lot of reviews. So,
well, I make no decision as yet if I would or would not. As you know, people said a lot of negative things about the vaccine, so up to now I make up my mind. But I'm still saying I ain't sure if I would take it or not.
No, I wouldn't be willing to take it because I don't think it's out long enough, and bigger countries hearing about a lot of side effects. So I'm just watching and listening to see what would be the outcome. We still should give it some more time.
I would take the COVID-19 vaccine because I'm afraid of it, and it would help to ease the pandemic in the country and what is going on, because the economy is stagnant because of this thing. So if the people need the country to get booming, then they have to make that decision. They have to trust it because they ain't got no other reply to it at the moment.
Okay, there still seem to be some uncertainties about it, and should it be something that, well, yes, there's a proper, it's done in a proper manner, or it is something that is being done and we see good results from it? I think I will go ahead and take it.
I don't know the side effects.
No, I'm not willing to take any vaccine. I just don't trust it. Apparently, to my research, I see the ingredients are not too righted and certain people are being paralyzed. So that's just my opinion, not willing to take it. I am willing to safeguard myself at all times. But with the vaccine, no, I'm not willing to take it.
Guyana is expected to receive its first set of COVID-19 vaccines between April to July. Among logistical preparations, the Health Minister, Dr. Frank Anthony, had stated in December that a draft coronavirus immunization bill will be brought before the National Assembly this year, not to force the vaccine on Guyanese, but to deal with the process of vaccination among adults, something the country never had before. Still in health, while the government's recent announcement that Guyanese would be allowed to self-test for HIV has attracted criticism from stakeholders, the new program manager of the National AIDS Program Secretariat, Dr. Tariq Jagnarine, believes it is a good thing for Guyanese. In a recent interview with the Newsroom, Dr. Jagnarine welcomed the announcement by the Minister of Health, Dr. Frank Anthony, and used the opportunity to quell the fears of those who are involved in the domestic HIV/AIDS response. He said self-testing has proven to be a best practice in many developed countries, and he's confident that with the appropriate guidelines, it can work in Guyana as a majority contributor to helping the government reach its target, among which is ending AIDS by 2030.
It is a best practice in some countries, developed countries. Before any program like that is instituted, we have to have a guided policy, how it's done, how it's monitored, the way we're going to slowly set out in doing it. And like I said, once that has a good foundation, it is doable. You might have some challenges when it comes to the region and monitoring how it's done, but if we have a proper standard operation procedure how it's done, we're not going to get issues. And I'm pretty sure at the end of the day it's going to help us reach some of our target and our ultimate goal of eliminating HIV by 2030. So part of that policy, it's going to go hand in hand with all of our other programs. When self-testing is done, we track it immediately, start treatment, having people go on ARVs as well as to achieve that viral suppression. So we're not going to leave it as an isolated program by itself, but we're going to integrate it with our other programs, and it's a program that is going to be highly scrutinized and tracked. Because I wouldn't want to see somebody be tested and then we miss them because they're positive and we don't want to put them on they don't want to go on ARVs or they don't have that opportunity. It's something that we want to.
The government has not said when self-testing would start in Guyana. The announcement to start self-testing coincides with the launch of a new National HIV Strategic Plan 2021-2025. With roughly 8,000 persons living with HIV in Guyana, statistics from the Health Ministry show that at the end of 2020, 90% of those infected knew their status, while 72% were on antiretroviral therapy. When Newsroom returns, the financial, weather and bridge reports along with sport. Welcome back to Newsroom. Now for a look at what's happening in sport. We're starting off with some cricket news. The West Indies head coach Phil Simmons has trudged off criticism over the combination of the test squad for the two matches against Bangladesh, noting that it is a balanced unit and the aim is to win the series.
We're here with a balanced unit. We have three spinners, we have three fast bowlers, and seaming all around there. So it's a case where we have balance. We have balance all around. So I don't see the decision hasn't been made yet whether we're going with three fast bowlers, two spinners, two fast bowlers. That decision hasn't been made yet. We just have a balanced lineup, and that's what we came here with. So we're going to work with that now and then make the decision closer to the games.
West Indies nor Bangladesh are in contention for a spot in the final of the ICC Test Championship later this year. The Caribbean side has 40 points and the hosts are still yet to come off the mark. However, Bangladesh dominated the West Indies on the last tour, which again puts them as favourites. But Simmons says the aim is to win this series.
I think any series you're going to, the first game is to win the series. I think it's always going to be hard when you're away from home because if you watch around the world, it's every team around the world plays well at home. It's going to be a hard series, but the first aspect is to win the series. The second is to make sure we prepare well and give the players the best opportunity to perform on the stage in Chittagong and in Dhaka. So I think once the preparation is going to be important, we prepare well, and we have an opportunity to win. When you come into a series, you come into a series to win the series. And I think, yes, you might say that we don't have our full team, as you're saying, but at the same time, we have a team here who's hungry, who wants to do well, who is eager to play in these conditions and to fight and scrap in these conditions. So when we come here, when we left the Caribbean, we left with a view of winning the ODI series. So that's what we're here with.
After 3 away tours during the pandemic, the most by any team, West Indies are expected to host Sri Lanka, Australia, South Africa, and Pakistan, all before the Caribbean Premier League this year. The coach said certainly good performances in this series will bode well for the busy schedule on the horizon.
When we went to England, we carry 25 players, and we've seen a couple of young players, including the two that made their debut in New Zealand, come through. From that, we've seen a few of the other young players that we know on this tour that we didn't know before that. So you're exactly correct in the fact that this opens up the pool. And as I said before, some of the places are in the players' hands. If they do well here, they can put themselves in line to play most of these series coming up.
The one-day leg consists of 3 matches which start on January 20th, and Simmons said it will be based on how the players perform in the net sessions. They can gauge the best combination given the lack of experience.
9 out of 10 it'll be on what we see as we go along in training. I think originally you would have somebody like the captain in the middle or late middle order, and we will work out how we balance the team around him. So it just depends how we get going in practice, and we see what's happening in practice, how people play up to the conditions, what the conditions are like, because we practice on the ground, but on a side ground, but near the ground that we're going to be playing on. So we see how we start, and then we will make moves from there.
The second and third ODI will be contested on January 22nd and the 25th. The West Indies ODI squad reads Jason Mohammed captain, Sully Lambris vice captain, Nkrumah Bono, Josh De Silva, Keon Hardin, Jamar Hamilton, Chimar Holder, Akil Hussain, Alzari Joseph, Kyle Mears, Andrew McCarthy, Katrin Otley, Rovman Poyle, Ramon Rifa, and Hayden Walsh Jr. For the newsroom, Markham Green.
Still in cricket, fitness and work ethic will be key areas of focus if West Indies women are to rise back to the top. That's the contention of the new head coach, Courtney Walsh. Since the World T20 success in 2016, West Indies women have had some mixed performances, and according to Walsh, a lot of work is needed to get the Caribbean side back to some level of consistency.
Self-belief and improving in all areas, as I sort of fallen down a little bit, that's obvious to see. And a lot of work is going to be required to get us back to where we can be. In terms of ability and talent, we have it, but our work ethic has to step up, our fitness level has to step up. So we have to look all around. Our entire approach to the game has to be changed, because, right around everybody else has crept and gone and leaped above us. So we have got to now play catch up. We're ranking 6 in both competition. And I think we can be higher than that, and we have to be higher than that. So there's a lot of work to be done. I just say other teams have gone past us because they have improved and worked at the whole of their all-round game performances, mentality, fitness, the whole 9 yards. We are now putting that sort of things in place, because for people who probably didn't know, the girls had a program from November in terms of fitness and skill set started November. They had a fitness program before because we are trying to ensure that everybody's up to par or up to a certain level. So this camp now, we are assessing them to see who did the work, how the work was going, and how much improvement we're going to be needed for the next 3 months after this camp and stuff. So it's not just a short-term fix. We're looking at a long-term fix to ensure that we set the standard and we can maintain that right throughout.
Do you think complacency has any role in this? You have the core group of players from 2016 still around. Do you think having reached that level, that summit, that maybe as a group, ambition is not quite the same since then?
There might be that possibility, but I wouldn't want to sort of jump into that. I think, as you say, that is a slight possibility, but we have to be realistic. I think other teams have put a lot of stuff in place and they've leapfrogged us, and we now have to sort of, get back up to that. But also, I mean, when we were champions, everybody wanted to be champion as well, so they went and played a lot of cricket and, did a lot of stuff, set the foundation for our program. And I think the other thing, as you say, it wasn't just complacency, but because of our lack of cricket in the region, where we don't play enough regional stuff, we don't have enough young cricketers coming through so we can keep. There's not a lot of choices in terms of to choose from, so it's not a case of just being complacency, but our pool is not as big as it ought to be or can be. So that's something that we have to address as well.
Tell you now that Surab Walker, the Guyana Amazon Warriors performance analyst, has ticked another box in his career after being appointed as the performance analyst of the Afghanistan men's cricket team. Speaking to Newsroom Sport moments before linking up with the Afghan side, Walker of India said the contract will last for a year. His first assignment is the upcoming 3-match ODI series between Afghanistan and Ireland in Abu Dhabi. Matches are slated for January 21, 24 and 26. This is the first time Walker will be working along with a test-playing nation. Walker was part of the Guyana Amazon Warriors coaching setup in 2019, performing the role of performance analyst when the franchise went on an 11-match unbeaten run before losing in the final. He also worked with Mumbai in the Ranji Trophy competition for 8 seasons and franchise sides in the IPL, the Bangladesh Premier League and the Pakistan Super League. Now, in an effort to expand the sport of badminton, the Guyana Badminton Association on Monday introduced the new outdoor game, Air Badminton, to students of the city school, St. Rose's High. The initiative comes 2 weeks after the newest form of badminton was officially launched in Guyana at a national park. To kickstart the program at the school, the GBA donated a quantity of rackets, shuttlecocks and nets. President of the Guyana Badminton Association, Gokan Ramdani, made a presentation to the sport coordinator at the school, Alq Stanley.
Okay. On behalf of the Guyana Badminton Association, we are happy to be at the St. Rose's Secondary School, and I'm here with Mr. Alq Stanley, the sports enthusiast and sports teacher, and we are happy to have him as part of this opening program for the Air Badminton, which we have started in the National Park a few weeks ago. And we are happy to make a donation of rackets and shuttles to him, along with a net. And we will continue to be with him through the process of getting players to a better level and to introduce the Air Badminton to a higher level.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ramdani. On behalf of St. Rose High School, students, we'd like to thank you and the Federation for a general donation which came in a timely manner because the COVID-19 has restricted us from indoors. So Air Badminton has come as a light in the darkness and also helps the C-Sec students who are preparing the exam this year so they can actually continue playing badminton. So again, thank you, thank you, thank you.
We tell you now that Archery Ghana continues to make strides in international arena, this time through its Secretary General, Vidushi Prasad McKinnon, who was appointed chair of the World Archery America's inaugural 5-member committee to deal with gender equity matters. The creation of this committee is an important step towards enhancing equal involvement of both genders in all archery-related areas. Its members will work in coordination with World Archery's Committee and Pan Am Sports Women in Sports Commission. Prasad McKinnon was instrumental in the implementation of Archery Guyana and the introduction of the sport to Guyana. She served as the first president of the body when it was constituted several years ago. And with that, we've come to the end of the news for this evening. Of course, you can find updates on these and other stories on our website, Newsroom.gy, our Facebook page and Instagram. On behalf of the entire news team, my name is Afanash Ramzan. Thanks for watching. Be safe. See you next time.